Hi everyone, it's Anna Wheaton here from Nudge Nudge Ink. I've been playing with the Charming Day bundle, which is new in the online exclusives. It consists of this beautiful stamp set with the main rose image, and then it includes the dies. There are dies that go around some of the images, and then there are dies that are standalone dies in terms of what they cut. Now, there are other things in the suite as well, but I'm not playing with them today. There is a beautiful packet of designer series paper called Floral Charm, which reflects all those lovely stamped images with some more muted images in the back. Got to get playing with those. There's also this braid, we won't call it ribbon, petal pink braid, and there are some gems as well, which I have put safely. Oh, these might be them. Charming Shimmer faceted dots, and I love the faceted ones. They're extra glittery. So that's the whole suite, but we're just actually playing with the dies today. This is a technique I've used before and I love it, and I just demonstrated it at an event, and so I thought I'd just carry on and make a video. So I'm going to show you how to make this card with this multicolored image. And so what you do is you start with your piece of basic white, so this is our normal cardstock, and then you just choose a range of colors, and I chose to go with a range of bright colors, 5 of them. So we've got Melon Mambo, Lemon Lime Twist, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Azure Afternoon. And if you're going to do this, you may as well do a whole sheet. So don't just get, those are dried a bit. Don't just get your card front size. Let's go for the whole lot. And what you're going to do is dot the sheet with your colors. I'm not going to do the whole thing while you're watching because that would be torture. Oh, that's funny. That one's quite a bit, this stamp pad and its blending brush feel quite a bit more juicy, non-dried out compared to the other. Now, as you're doing this, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry if they're not perfect. So see, for blending experts, there's a bit of a line there. Doesn't matter because that's all going to become immaterial. It's just the colors that you're using. So we continue. A little bit of Daffodil Delight. And a little bit of Pumpkin Pie. Oops, nearly got a whole lot of pumpkin pie then. So what you're aiming to do is have all these spaces filled up, and you would just keep going until you had it all done. This doesn't matter. See how there's a few little white patches? That's fine. You'll see why in a moment. Now, just bear with me. I'll get my ink pads and blending brushes out of the way. And I'm going to switch this out for, here's one I prepared earlier. So there's a complete page, and you can see that there's, it's not perfect, doesn't matter. There's some white patches. And then you're going to get just a little bit of water in a bowl. And you're going to use your fingers in your water, and you're just going to flick it onto there. Now, if you're flicking close, you'll get big splots. If you flick from further away, you will get finer spots. Now, the important thing is to leave this. So don't hurry it with your glue, with your heat gun, because you just want the reactions to happen. So you can see you're starting to get some edges on some of those splatters. And it's starting to run into the colors and meld them together. and so the reactions start taking place. You might also leave that for a while and then realize you actually haven't hit the corner with much water, and you might return to that. So again, I'll put this aside and show you a finished product. Alrighty, so you can see it's been mushed a fair bit. This is actually the one I demoed with, so I could actually go back on that one and do a little bit more. So I now have a piece of homemade DSP perhaps that I can use, and the best thing to do is use it for your cutting out of shapes, because it works magic. So here, for example, is one of the cutouts from Charming Day Bundle, which is a rose. I could plonk that anywhere, but you may even want to plonk it somewhere where it's going to have mostly green on the stalk. Let's run that through, and you can see what it looks like when it comes out the other side. Okay, so there you have it. I'll just put that on some black. You can see how once you've cut it out, it just adds a little bit of magic to it. Now I'll show you a sample using that particular cutout. So with this one, I've centered my rose in the middle of the embossing folder, the name of which escapes me, dotted circle or something. I'll put it in the description, but that gives it a focal point. And I've also used a layer around the edge. So the front of the card is a piece of that, and I actually cut this out of the middle. So there's a hole in there that gets covered by this. I actually suspect that there is also one of these in there because I lost it, and I think I may have stuck it in under there accidentally. So there you have a really quick and simple card. All right, I'm going to show you this one though. So this one I have cut this large design out of the same paper. Now let's do that again. So I'm just going to plonk that anywhere. Plonk being the technical term. Run that through. You must make sure that your paper is completely dry. So if you've left it to react a little bit, and you think it's not going to react anymore, then hit it with your heat gun, or just leave it till tomorrow or whatever. Okay, so see, you pop that out and you've got a multicolored image, and those little splatter edges become part of the design. I just love the multicoloredness of it. I perhaps won't, I'm not going to use this one right now. So what I'm going to do with this is I have gone ahead and I have cut multiples of the same design. So heaps of white. And we're going to glue them together to make a bit of a chipboard effect. So this is where you need something like, you need a liquid glue. So we're using our green glue or our Tombow. And we use it lightly. All of these little marks that you see on the flowers, they are actually cut through. So they actually go through the paper to the other side. So you don't want to have glue squelching through there. And so you're just adding little dots here and there, and you are being sparing with it. The reason we want a liquid glue is because we want to be able to move the layers before they set. So a glue runner would not do because it glues straight away. You also don't have to go right to the edges with stacks of glue because, of course, some of it's going to squeeze. Okay, so I've got that, and then I get my second one and I'm going to put it on top. And then you just now want to walk around. Actually, I did a better job. You want to make sure that you slide that. So check all around that all of that is lining up. Pinch your little leaves sideways, like so. And then go back and check too, because sometimes they just go apart while you're not looking. They're a bit cheeky. So that's double thickness now. Okay, you can keep going as many times as you want, but I've got one here. So here's one I prepared earlier where I've actually added 3 layers to it already. So I've got 2 layers here and 3 layers here. So let's just glue those together because it makes a nice thick chunky flower. Again, little dots. Now Stampin' Up, every release we have, Stampin' Up has some sort of flower or foliage offering, but usually flowers, and you know from catalogues that there's always a number of flower sets. And some people say, why is it so? It is so because they are the most popular selling items. People just keep buying them. So I'm going to sit that on top, grab it, and then work my way around. So I'm sort of, I'm pushing them together, but also lining them up on their sides. It's just like you might straighten a pack of cards, for example. So now I have a thick layer. Going to add a little bit more to it with my wink of Stella. So if you don't have a wink of Stella, it's really a must-have in your craft supplies. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing with wink of Stella. And what that does in this particular case is it even adds to the, the melding of the watercolor. So it's like another layer of water going over the top. Done. Okay, what I'm going to do is add that to one of our everyday arches. These are a handy set of dies to have. Again, they have a stamp set that they go with, but there's so many examples of them being used on a whole variety of cards as a layer. They really are very handy to have. And stick that in place so you can see the black really shows off the colours too. Then I'm using Summer Splash, which is one of our in colours. What I've done is, this is my card front. Usually my next layer, card front is 10.5 by 14.8. So usually I would cut this 10 by 14.3. So 5 mils narrower and shorter. All I've done is cut this 5 mils narrower I haven't cut it shorter. And the reason is, I just found that other embossing folder, Dotted Circles it's called. We're going to use, don't have it ready, here it is, the mini corrugated embossing folder. Now this has disappeared in the US, as I understand. It's not for sale anymore, gone, not to be, I don't think it's coming back. But as you can imagine, this is going to corrugate the length of this, and therefore it's going to make it shorter. So I've left it, hoping that it will be just the right length. Let's see, fingers crossed. So this just goes on the base plate. It's a 3D embossing folder, base plate, and then it has the grey, what's this called, 3D plate, made specifically for your 3D folders. Let's see. Oh, that's just about perfect. Look at that. Yep, it's just got a little, happy with that. It did go a little crooked. I don't care. Okay, and then we're going to use the Summer Splash ribbon. This is the in colour bordered ribbon. This is on the clearance rack, so it's on its way out. But if you want it, it's on sale, it's reduced. Stampin' Up is fantastic with its coordination of products, and this is a great example. I'm going to trim that. Oh, and that's going to go on the front there. Now, if you ever find, do you see how that's a little bit looser than I would like? Two things I can do. One is I can put a mini glue dot underneath that knot, but if I also want to tighten it, I can grab some of my double-sided tape and I'm going to add it to the back, but when I go to add it to this side, I haven't really pressed it down, but I can just pull this a little bit. So you can see I've taken up the slack there. Then let's grab the mini glue dots. Slide that one underneath the knot of the ribbon. We're ready to stick. Oh. Doing this deliberately to show you something, show you that we all get into pickles. Okay, I'm lining it up at the side first, and then I can, there we go. Might pop that on with dimensionals, I think. Oh, those are my tiny ones. What happens when I make a video is I put things to the side and they gradually bury everything else that was waiting. Yeah, oh, here they are. Here's the big ones. The reason I colour my dimensionals is it makes it much easier to know. If I now get distracted and I come back to my project, I know which ones I have taken the backing off instead of having to touch them all. Oh, that's a bit low. Bit low for my liking. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some in color shimmer gems. These have retired, but I love them, so I'm going to use them. Now, none of the colors in this are Summer Splash. There is a green, but you can see that because the colors meld, it'll pick up any sort of green. I'm going to add a little pinky into the flower. Sticky stuff. Okay, so here we are. That is my Summer Splash one. That is my Petunia Pop one, both of which have the thick chipboardy layer, just as something a little bit different. And that is the one that I showed you, where I just cut that out of my paper that I made. There you go. I hope that inspires you. Try that technique. I think I may have done an older video on this with another product, with another bundle, but it works well with so many different ones, especially flowers. So you don't have to necessarily have Charming Day. Try it with another flower set. Thank you. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love a comment, and get creating. Thanks everyone. Bye.